All right, you all are going to like this video. We're going to look at the 5 hottest active basketball cards for players that are, as of right now, 4 of these guys are in the playoffs. 3 of them are very much one game away from elimination. And then there will only be 1 remaining who is already through to round 2 of the playoffs, and you can probably guess who that individual player is. We're looking at the 5 players with the hottest cards in Card Ladder over the last 90 days. Enjoy the video.
See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data. We know what you want because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors. Card Ladder. Join the innovators, not the imitators.
Hey guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and we're going to check in and catch the pulse of the recent ultra-modern basketball card hobby, and we're going to look at the 5 hottest players cards that are active players. We're not looking at Kareem. We're not looking at Jerome Kersey. We're not going back and looking at Nate Tiny Archibald. We're looking at active players. We've got 3 guys that are on the brink of elimination. We've got 1 guy who didn't even make the playoffs, but his cards are for some reason running a little bit. That's kind of a surprise. Stay tuned. He's the number 2 player on our list with the 2nd most price growth in the last 90 days. And then at number 1, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That should not be a surprise. Watch till the end of the video because I got to show you that his cards are hot as a firecracker over the last 90 days. How long will this surge in prices continue? You know, they say buy the hype, sell the news. Well, it's the hype phase right now. We think he's going to win MVP. A lot of us think that the Oklahoma City Thunder can contend for the Western Conference title and maybe the overall NBA title if they can catch the Celtics on a bad day or with a couple of bad wheels on their players. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be at the top, but how we get to the top is the interesting stuff. So let's start with player number 5 on our list, and it's none other than King James himself. I don't call him King, but some people do. He calls himself King. LeBron James, tons of cards to work with. His cards are up 27.09% over the last 90 days. Yeah, that's right. This is the guy whose cards have absolutely death marched into oblivion over the last 3, 4, 5 years. They have just absolutely cratered. He's starting to make a resurgence. He's 40 million years old. He's putting up insane numbers for his age. The Lakers look like they literally took a massive blow to their playoff chances this year with this new revamped backcourt with Reeves and Doncic and LeBron James when they lost an absolute just bar fight game where the referees let people impregnate each other, even in the backcourt. I felt terrible because a 270-pound Luka Doncic couldn't do anything because every single defender that guarded him, the refs let them do whatever they wanted to the point of almost committing crimes. But LeBron James cards, despite all this, are up 27.09% over the last 90 days. This is the cards only in the Card Ladder database. Of course, let's look at some of those cards in PSA 10 only that are worth more than $100 that have performed the best, and we'll just kind of quickly run through this, and we'll do this for each player so you guys have an idea of which cards are leading the way as far as a percentage return over the last 90 days. 2008 Bowman Chrome LeBron James, number 3. It's only sold 2 times, and so again, remember when we're looking at these graphs and we're looking at something that says, hey, the LeBron James 2008 Bowman Chrome base card, right? That's a, 5th, 6th year LeBron James base card is up 215% over the last 90 days. It would mean one thing if it was like 11 sales, but when it's 2 sales, you've got to really urge caution that it jumped from $57 all the way up to $179.94. So that card leads the way. The LeBron James 2003 Upper Deck Black Diamond, same thing. This one does have 4 sales, and this is a pretty steady deal. This is a base card. It is a rookie card. It is a good-looking card. It's a card I'm not super familiar with, but this is his Upper Deck Black Diamond rookie. It's a pop 68, and look at this card. It's moving from $1,400, sounds like a huge number to me, but from $1,400 to $1,470 to $1,999, all the way to $3,500. That's a 150% growth rate over the last 90 days. How about some more Bowman? 2004 Bowman, 2nd year LeBron James base card, up 125%. This is a Pop 236 card. The image on the card is otherworldly. There you go. You can see it for yourself. And the card has sold three times over the last 90 days, $99 or 1 penny shy of $100, $140, and then $225. What about the Topps Pristine? This is not the refractor. The base Topps Pristine were serial numbered to 1,999, and you're looking at one right here. That's what it looks like. Again, shorts seem a little long. Jersey, quadruple XL. I'm not sure why. And we've got some awesome white, all white aerobics shoes on his feet with no socks. $227 for this car, Pop 227, sorry, $3,480. Most recent sale of this card. This is a card that you could have picked up right at $2,000, $2,130, $2,200, and now it's risen to $3,480 just over the last 90 days. So that Topps Pristine refractor serial number to 199 is a card to keep an eye on, not the base, sorry, the refractor. And let's move on to the next player. So who's number 4 on the list? We saw LeBron James up 27% and some change, right, over the last 90 days. Who's number 4 on our list? It's none other than the Great White Hope or the Great White Hype, depending on your perspective. It's Tyler Hero, right, from Wisconsin, former University of Kentucky Wildcat. His cards are up a shade more than LeBron's, 27.53% over the last 3 months. So good returns on the Tyler Hero cards. When we reduce the filter, when we use the filter to reduce the number of cards, we're looking at PSA 10s over $100. We really only come to 2 cards. It's his 2020 draft picks, Tyler Hero in his Kentucky uniform right there with that guitar in the background and the Bobcat over there, a little Wildcat next to him. That's a pop 145, so a little bit higher pop on those Prism draft pick downtowns apparently. That card has sold a few times over the last 3 months. It's sold how many times? 4 times. 4 times, bouncing from 200 down as low as a 111, way back up to 275 and then 265. Tyler Hero had a really, really good season this year in the NBA. And then card number 2 on the list that's actually up is also his downtown, but this is his 2019 1-in-1 downtown, and it's in his Miami uniform. This is a really good looking card with that red background, but it's from Panini 1-in-1. It's a PSA 10. It's a pop 35. Shout out to KD right there on that one. And Clarence Weatherspoon, if I'm not mistaken. 1,020 this card was in February, just a couple of months ago. 1,251, and then up to a high over the last 90 days of 1,325. So those are just 2 Tyler Hero cards to keep a look at. The rest of the cards are either down or they're absolutely even because they probably haven't sold. His rookie penmanship's actually down a little bit over the last 90 days. So again, when you're talking about somebody with a less robust database of cards included in his index, you also have to be really careful because it could just be a couple of cards that are really driving the numbers up. So if we take out this filter and we look at, let's just look at only cards that are PSA 10 regardless of value, right? So we're going to pull in the little chintzy cards that are worth even less than 100, and we hit apply. It jumps all the way up to 21 results, and then you can see perhaps a Ruby Wave card, pop 329. I love that Ruby Wave parallel, but that's real growth right there. It's a little volatile, right? We're talking about a $23 card. Guys, it's $23 to grade a damn card at PSA now, right? When you include shipping and insurance, but $23 for that card all the way up to $59. That's 2.5 extra money. Again, it's hard to kind of make meaningful, tangible U.S. dollars when you're dealing with $20 to $50. Then you got to ship the card, you got to package it, you got to buy the stuff, depending on your sales platform. How about the 2019 Mosaic Tyler Hero base PSA 10? Do you remember when everybody cared about base PSA 10 cards? This is a card that you can get for as low as $3, and unfortunately, the last one sold for $20. That's 86% growth from over a 90-day period. So we're not going to look at all this stuff. The Silver Prism is a card that might have meaning long-term if Tyler Hero can really do some things. Remember, this is 2019 Silver Prism, not 2012 or 2013, where it actually meant something. In 2019, you're talking about 3,542 Tyler Heroes that have been graded, 860 PSA 10s, and it's only an $88 card. I bet you if we go to the all-time chart, this is going to be frightening to look at, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it because we do brave things. Yeah, that's what I thought. Somebody at one point paid, let me make sure I get this correct, $1,437 for this now $88 Silver Prism PSA 10. So Tyler Hero is number 4 on our list. Who's number 3 on our list? Well, this should be no surprise either because he's a damn animal. He's my favorite ultramodern player, and I wish I was on in the game, in the Cade Cunningham game, but I am not. He's only got 3 cards over $100 in PSA 10 that are included in the card ladder database. And that's his silver, that's his blue color match, and that's his little bit more pricey blue ice PSA 10 serial number to 125. Let's first take a look at his silver PSA 10 because this is an attainable card. Believe it or not, I think fewer silvers were printed. In fact, I'm almost certain of it in 2021 as compared to 2019 for Tyler Hero. You can see only 1,935 of his silvers have been graded, whereas 3,500 or something like that we saw Tyler Heroes were graded. The Poppin' PSA 10 is 332, thus the PSA 10's worth significantly more than Tyler Hero. And again, Tyler Hero is a very fine player. He's a very good player. I like him a lot. I like to watch him play. I always like players who play offense. But Cade Cunningham is on a completely different level than Tyler Hero, and that's really saying something. But Cade Cunningham is going to make his first All-NBA team. Whether it's second or third team, I'm not real sure. My guess is it'll probably be third. But he led a team that is relatively devoid of elite talent all the way to the NBA playoffs, and not just the play-in, the playoffs. He got the Detroit Pistons. Who's his second best player? Jaden Ivey, he's hurt. Is it Jalen Duren? Is it Malik Beasley? Is it Tim Hardaway Jr.? Is it Asar Thompson? I mean, who's his second best player? There's really nobody that's special, right? There's no elite NBA starters on his team other than himself. And that's why his cards are running here. But this is what his Silver Prism PSA 10 has done. Check this out. This is a card that was a steady mid 300s, 360, 370, 350, 370. And now it's jumped to a pretty consistent 500 plus card. 545, 486, 486. And in the last three sales, 545, 575, 600. Now, what's going to happen this summer? Well, you guys know what's going to happen this summer. These are going to come back. I don't know if they're going to retreat down to the mid 300s. If they do, I might get in the game. I don't know if I'm going to be buying silvers, but I might get in the Cade Cunningham game. But these high commodity cards that have 332 in the PSA 10 population, these are not going to sustain if they get bounced next game by the Knicks. I think they play the Knicks either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm recording this on Monday, April 28th. So by the time you see this video, sorry, this is going to be stale. It's quite possible that the Knicks will have eliminated the Pistons. It's also possible the Pistons come back and win, 3 games in a row. You never know, right? You never know in the NBA, and you never know with a player like Cade Cunningham. But my suspicion is the Knicks have probably cooked the Pistons, and he'll be out of the playoffs. And there may be a buying opportunity for Cade Cunningham. But you see what one elite talent who carries the team to the playoffs, what can happen with their cards. And this is a pretty large sample size. Here's the problem, though, right? If you look at it over the last 1 month, now you're looking at a card that's 8.1%, but over the last 6 months, it's going to look even better. Yeah, there you go. So this is a silver that you could have gotten for $190. That's like old school 2022 type prices, right? $200. Now you're talking about real money. That's 127% rate of growth. What about his blue 199? How many times has that sold? Pop 31. Shout out to Reggie Miller. There's a nice chart for you guys. You could have gotten in as low as $500. Card most recently sold for $1,710. This is a card that's up 14% over the last 90 days. So Cade Cunningham cards look to be doing really, really well. I do think that there'll be a nice buy-in window in the summer if you are so inclined to be a flipper, to be a short-term investor, to buy low and to sell high. If that's what you're looking to do, the summer is going to be a great time to do that. Even if you're a long-term Cade guy, if you're rosy on Cade Cunningham long-term, I think this summer might be your last, cheapest, best buying window to get in on him. And again, keep in mind, I own no LeBron James cards. I own no Tyler Hero cards. I own no Cade Cunningham cards. Oh, actually, I think I do. I own a white sparkle PSA 8 that I think I have listed on eBay that I just kind of missed on. So I think I own one Cade Cunningham card. Certainly, this is not a pump and dump video is what I'm getting at. And here's the surprise. For me, I was shocked. And again, we got to be real careful here because the database for Tyrese Maxey in Card Ladder is very small, okay? But Tyrese Maxey cards are up 38.15%. What did we say? Cade was up 35%. So just a shade more than Cade. The Tyrese Maxey cards are up 38% over the last 90 days, according to the Card Ladder indexes. And when we sort it by PSA 10 cards worth more than $100, we only get 3 cards, and 2 of them are down. So what's that mean? Cajun, explain that to us. Well, that means if you're up 35% and none of them are relevant cards, then that must mean his irrelevant cards are doing well, which makes no sense to me because Tyrese Maxey was having a great season. Then Basically, they shut down the whole team trying to, chase the flag, right? Capture the flag. They're trying to get the Cooper Flag draft pick, it sounds like. Paul George's always hurt. Embiid's career is over. So Tyrese Maxey sort of left by himself. Jared McCain got hurt. It'll be interesting to see how they pair Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain in that backcourt next year. That'll be fun to watch. And then it sounds like they're going to get a high draft pick. I think they kept their draft pick, so they should have it. I'm not sure. Somebody else can check on that. But look at the top 3 performing Tyrese Maxey cards over the last 90 days. Base Prism SGC 9, yuck, $5 card. Base Prism PSA 9, $22 card, and a Base Prism PSA 10, $35 card. So this can be a little bit misleading here. Then his Prism draft picks downtown PSA 9 is doing well. There's really not a lot of stuff to go on here. Those are the only 4 cards that are up, but those are up such a high percentage that it brings all the other cards that are down here in the red. It kind of brings them back to the field. And then there's going to be a lot of them that just haven't sold. Here's the long and short of it is, this is probably a little misleading that Tyrese Maxey is listed as the second best performing active basketball player from a card price perspective over the last 90 days, because there's just not enough data out there to lean on. Do you know what I mean? But card number 1 is player number 1. Cards of the player are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, up 174%. This is a M&M'er, as Dick Vitale would say, a mismatch, right? You could add up the LeBrons, the Cade Cunninghams, the Tyler Heroes, and the Tyrese Maxeys, and if you add them all up, they're not up 174% combined. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander cards are. Wow, there's a lot of built-in stuff going on here. We think he's going to win the MVP, quite certainly, because the narrative is strong at the moment, and we think that they've got a very good chance that clearly they're through. They already swept their first round. It looks like they're going to have a chance as a fresh team to advance to the conference finals. It's not going to be any easy stuff from here on out. There's no question about that. But when you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander PSA 10s that are worth $100 or more, the best performing from that filter would be his Pink Ice PSA 10, believe it or not, a card that's a pop 308, so an easy-to-find card. Remember, all his Prism cards from 2018 are missing the RC shield because they screwed it up. Congrats to Panini on that. But look at his Pink Ice, man. You're talking about a card, 387 back then, card selling for 781 now. That's a 100% growth. That's double, right? Even in South Louisiana, that's 2x. How about his Fast Break Blue color match, serial number to 175, pop 46. So we're getting a lower card here, only 175 printed. Check it out, 2 sales, 1550 and then 3,105. That's another example of doubling. Even his Base Prism, which nobody on earth cares about, right? 4,437. That is a huge pop. How many have been graded? 16,000 have been graded. He's got a terrible gem rate because there was some kind of defect on his card or whatever. I can't remember the details. Maybe somebody can help me out in the comments. But 28% gem rate. Still, there's 4,000 plus of those out there. That card's selling for $184. If you want my input, very rarely do I tell people investment advice. Well, here's one. Don't invest in that. That's dumb. $184 for a pop 4,000 card that's been graded 16,000 cards, and there's probably another 30,000 sitting out there waiting to be graded. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't care how good the damn player is. The red, white, and blue, some people like it, some people hate it. Some people think it makes them think of a barbershop, the barbershop symbol, right? Outside the old barbershops that we used to have back in the old days. That doesn't even look red, white, and blue. That looks orange, white, and teal. It's just a bad picture in and of itself. But that's a pop 617. So even the red, white, and blue, which is one of the most common parallels, is significantly lower print runs, probably even than the silver, and certainly lower print runs. Let's see, 2,245 of those have been graded. I wonder if the silver's in there. Purple Wave, Fast Break. There's your silver right there. Silver is up 42%, 687 pop, been graded twice as many times as the red, white, and blue. So silver's doing well as well, up 42%. The Fast Break, just the regular old disco bubbles, up. That's pop 31. I don't think people understand how rare those cards are. It's been graded 263 cards, but check out the gem rate, pop 13%. Rainbow collectors of SGA will recognize how valuable and how much more rare than people think that the Fast Break disco, the true disco PSA 10 is. What about the Purple Wave? That's a pop 52. What about just his autographed signature silver prism? Pop 61 right there. That card is up. I mean, look at these numbers. Everything you can look at is in green. Pink Ice, green, doubled. Fast break blue doubled. Base up 76%, inexplicably. Red, white, and blue 68%. Concourse light blue color match, okay? Now we're talking at the pop 43. That's a serial number 299 card. It has sold what? How many times? 8 times. The card's up 65%. Last selling at $780. I mean, his cards are doing huge numbers. Purple Wave, Fast Break, Silver, Green, Red, Blue, Hyper. All of these cards. The Hyper is going to have a very low pop. Watch this. 17. I knew it. These cards are hard to grade. They get refractor lines. I want to show you this card. It's a really good looking card. Here's an example of a PSA 10 that got a 10 despite the fact that there is a very clear refractor line. See where my cursor is going back and forth right here, right through his midsection. But that's a big card. $1,800 the last sale, $1,847 up from $1,250. There's real money being made in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander cards, but this is a hot potato. Don't make any mistake about it. He's going to win the MVP. He may or may not win the NBA title, but these cards are going to come down in the summer. They just are. Even if he wins the title, they're going to come down. Why do I think that? Why do I think that winning an NBA title is going to make his cards come down? It's not that winning or not winning. They're coming down no matter what, whether he wins it or doesn't win it, whether they get to the conference finals or don't get to the conference finals. Those cards, these cards that we're looking at right now, this is not a go buy these cards video. I want to make that very, very clear. This is not an investment advice video. I'm just showing you the data that Card Ladder provides to us as an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard channel, right? So if anything, I'd be selling my SGAs right now. Any of these that I just mentioned that are up, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100%, dump them all unless you're a true collector and you're trying to keep that rainbow and you're trying to build that rainbow or you plan to hold for 10 years. I think that these cards are going to come back down no matter what happens in the next 60 days. In the summer, you're going to have another buying window where you can buy into SGA. We ain't getting back to last year's prices in SGA. I can tell you that, because if we look at the 1 year change, check this out. This is where you're going to see some massive numbers. Up 281%. Let me just read you the percentages. 281% up, 235, 183, 175, 173, 170, 136, 100. That's like what, 7 or 8 cards that have more than doubled over the last year. If you want to look at crazier numbers than that, watch this. Do they have a 2-year? They don't have a 2-year on here. I was going to show you. It's probably even worse. So my point is, SGA cards have risen incredibly. I don't want to use the word inorganically, because they've risen because of who he has shown to be as a player and his future, his potential, his ability to put rings on his fingers, and he's got a loaded ass team with a bevy of draft picks and assets that can be traded. They can tailor make this team to his liking however the hell they want. That's why his cards have gone up this much. I don't think they're going back to 2 years ago prices. I don't believe that, but I do believe right now we're looking at a little bit of a mini bubble where they're going to come back to earth over the summer, and you might be able to get some of these cards that have gone up 75% over the last 90 days. That's it, guys. Just wanted to share some cards. LeBron, good. Tyler Hero, Maxey, it's really small sample size. I'd chill on that. Cade Cunningham, no doubt he's here for real, and I wouldn't be surprised if 3 years from now we're talking about Cade Cunningham or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Who is the best guard in the NBA? Of course, you got Doncic, and you got Anthony Edwards, and you got guys coming in from college. You got guys coming in from overseas. There's going to be a lot of talk about whose league this is. We thought Wemby was the face of the league, and then deep vein thrombosis shows up. So whose league is it right now? It is very much up in the air. The best player in the world, in my opinion, my personal opinion, and it's not close, I think it's Nikola Jokic, but I'm not sure his roster is built for the long haul. I don't see a championship window in the next 2-3 years for the Denver Nuggets. He's so good, he may prove me wrong. Aaron Gordon may dunk back game winners over and over, and they may go off and win the whole West this year. Put SGA in his place, put him back on the pine, and the Nuggets may run the tables and win the freaking title this year. That's how good Jokic is. The problem is Jokic's roster is a different age than Oklahoma City. It's a different age than the Boston Celtics. It's a different age than the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a different age than believe it or not, the promising Houston Rockets and some of these other teams. Even like the Orlando Magic are looking pretty good, even though they're missing some pieces and aren't going to get it done this year. There's some other teams that are on the up, right? And Jokic is at the peak prime of his career, but whose league is this going to be in 3 years? Let me know what you think in the comments. I think Cade's in the conversation. I think SGA is very much in the conversation. So let me know who your people are. It might be Anthony Edwards. It might be Luka Doncic. It might be Wembanyama. Who the hell knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe it's Zion Williamson or Ja Morant from the vaunted 2019 draft class. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.